In the last video, we learned how to create a basic HTML table. Today, we will take tables to the next level. We will learn how to divide tables into table head, table body, and table foot, and how to merge columns using colspan, how to merge rows using rowspan. Let's start coding. First of all, let's create a new file for this lesson. So we are going to name it table section.html and enter. So let's create first HTML general structure HTML, and inside HTML tag we have a tag and also body tag. Inside the head tag, let's create a title for this page. So we are going to write advanced HTML tables and save it. Open with live server. So now you see we are inside our advanced HTML tables page. So, and inside our body, let's create an head h2. So write the title table with table 8 body, table body, and table footer. So save it. So in this lesson, we are going to study how to create a table that have table header, table body, and table footer. So enter. Let's create a table first, table tag, and inside our table we have three parts: table header, table body, and table footer. So table header, table 8 first, and then table body, and then table footer. So inside our table head, we are going to create 3 columns. First, create 1 row and 3 columns. So in our header, we are going to create some bold text. That's why we use table header tag. We're going to copy it and paste it 2 more times. So the first column, we name it name, age, and country. And also, let's in the body create also a table row, and inside our table row we should have 3 columns. First column, we use normal column. That's why I use table data tag. Copy this and paste this 1 more time. So for example, I put name Ahmad and age, for example, 20 years old, and country, for example, Canada. And also let's create another person as well. I'm gonna copy it, create another row, paste it, and I'm gonna change the name to Sarah, age to, for example, 22, country, for example, USA. So, and here if I save it, you see that my table does not have any border. Let's create a border or define a border property for our table. Border A is 1, save it. So now our table has border. So table, we created table 8. So this is table 8, and also table body, which has 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows and 3 columns. Let's create for this table footer as well. First of all, let's create a table row, and inside we are going to create 1 column, and I'm gonna write inside it that end of the table. So if I save it, so you see it stretch our first column, but we don't have 2 more columns. Let's merge it, this 3 columns in 1 column. I'm gonna use column span. Column span property is equal to 3, means we are going to merge 3 rows in 3 columns in 1 column. Save it. Now you see that I merged our 3 column to 1 column. End of the table. So this was about table which has either body and footer. Let's continue our lesson. So let's create an h2 tag. So inside h2 tag, let's write using column span, which means merge columns, and save it. So now we are going to study how to merge columns in HTML. So let's create first of all a table, and inside the table let's create 2 rows, 1 row and another row. And inside our first row, let's create a title. Let's create a table header. So I'm gonna write inside this student information. So, and inside the second row, I'm gonna add 2 columns, 1 column and another column. So I'm gonna write name here, and in this column or in this cell I'm gonna write Rahim, name Rahim. So but in this column, if I save it, let's first of all define a border attribute to our table and save it. Yeah, now you can see the issue that student information stretches the cell, and I want to merge 2 columns in 1 on the header. So let's define an attribute here, column span equal to how many columns do I want to merge? 1, 2, 2 columns, 2, and save it. Now you see that student informations appear in 2 columns, or we merged 2 columns in 1 for student information. So let's continue our lesson. Let's define an h2, and inside h2 we are going to write using rowspans, which means merge rows. and save it. So in this section, we are going to study about rowspan, how we merge rows in HTML. Okay, enter, and let's create a table. Scroll down and table. So inside our table, we are going to create two rows, one row and second row. So inside our first row, we are going to create heading, two columns, first column, and second column. I choose first column bold and second column normal cell. So inside this, I'm gonna write fruits, and inside this, I'm gonna write apple. And in this row, the second row, I'm gonna inside the second row, I'm gonna define another cell or another column, banana. So let's add a border attribute to our table and save it. So now you can see the issue that the fruit is appear in one column and the apple is appear in another column and banana is appear in another column. We have two columns and two rows. So I want to merge two rows for the fruit. This fruit appear in two rows and banana appear below the apple. So how can I do this? Here inside fruit tag, I'm gonna add a rowspan attribute equal to how many rows I want to merge. Two rows. Now we have one row and two rows. I'm gonna merge two rows. And now if I save it, you can see that I merged two rows and banana appears below the apple. And that's how to create professional table in HTML using table section and merge cells. In the next episode, we will start learning about HTML forms, one of the most important parts of any website. If this was helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.